Hey, Campers and Team, it's January 2022, and we have a lot to cover today. So, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about kind of like a wrap up from last year, and then we're going to talk about where we're at today, and then some of the focus areas here for at least the first quarter, but some of them are going to be all year round. But before I get into it, make sure you stay on till the very, very end. We have an exciting announcement to make that we're going to make at the very end of this. And so let's go ahead and dig in. So first, one administrative item before we dig in too deep, and that is we went through open enrollment last month, and make sure that you double check your benefits and ensure that they're right on ADP. This is the time of year to do it before we get to March and you say, oh, those benefits aren't what I elected. There are sometimes things happen with technology, and it's a good idea to go in and double check your benefits. So let's cover some of 2021. So as a lot of you know, 2021 was a good year. It wrapped up as a record year in a lot of different areas. So I'm going to go through some of those highlights. I guarantee you I'm going to forget some things. So I hope those that say, hey, you forgot my area or focus, I apologize in advance. But these are some of the items that came to mind as we go through 2021. So first off, it was a record in number of sales. Not too surprising. Some of these messages we talked about, we went through that. But what's great news is 24 of our 28 stores that were with us the majority of the year, so 24 of those 28 stores actually took market share last year. So not only got their fair share and kept up with the market, but actually took market share according to stat surveys. A lot of reasons why that happened: good inventory management, a lot of stores selling a lot of sold orders, which allowed them to get their unfair share. But one of the things that we asked for your help on a few times was working with the manufacturers and making sure that we're a good partner for them, whether that's with the reps on the sales side or that's with the prep center and keeping in touch with the back-end operations or parts support or warranty or whatever. But having good, favorable relationships with the manufacturers leads to more inventory in some cases, but better relations. And that did help us on the market share side. So I appreciate the help that the entire team put forward there. But in addition to sales, there were some other really good highlights. So same stores. So when we take out the new stores, when we just look at same store growth, our service departments grew by 25% this last year. Same stores in the amount of available income generated year over year. The parts departments grew by 31%, same stores. And we worked to obviously standardize a lot of our parts, and we did a lot of resets and other things. So even though the year was a tough year on the supply chain, right, whether it was getting parts or the right inventory, it was just a tough year overall, we still were able to grow our business, take care of more customers, help out more people. And that is attributable to all of you for all the effort that you put in. So really appreciate what you did. On the customer satisfaction side, there was good and bad about this. The bad is that our CSI scores as a company did decrease year over year on both the sales and the service side. And we contribute that to a lot of things. We contribute that to growth. We can talk about the supply chain challenges on getting the right parts in, warranty authorizations. So that's the bad side. The good side, though, is that overdue WeCares and the number of outstanding customer issues for a while, we actually reduced the overdue WeCares and the not contacted number of WeCares. So on the bad side, we had some challenges on our CSI scores, but on the good side, we were actually contacting customers more and trying to make sure that we took care of that. We had a ton of projects that we engaged on last year. So we grew the ISD, right? The Internet Sales Department grew. We basically grew from just a few people, the used buying department, into a fairly large buying department, over a dozen people, and they're buying used units for us. We launched our learning management system, Campers in You. And some of you might say, what's Campers in You? Well, that's because it was a soft launch. It's for the new employees coming in the system, new stores. We're rolling it out there before we roll it out to everybody. So Campers in You is a thing, and we're in our soft launch phase of rolling it out. We pushed a lot more people through our people-oriented training. So by people-oriented, I'm talking about the Prodaptive system, our situational management model. We had people go through our pilot program of the Hiring Winners course, which is like an interview and selection program, and other people-oriented training. Team improved our infrastructure on the technology side, right? So we developed and launched a new budgeting tool, the people dashboard, and a whole lot of improvements to all of our dashboards, whether it's the sales matrix or just, I could go on and on. But we launched a whole bunch of additional technological tools to help the team out. I think a few months ago, I don't remember exactly the message, but we talked about the refinance of our financing package. So we're just about complete. That was supposed to get done by December 31st. Well, things happen. It's probably going to happen in February, but we're just about complete on our refinancing package, which is for our real estate, our floor plan, which is our inventory, and then our line of credit facilities. So whether it's the accounting team, Matt, the CFO, or others, we're working on that. So that is a big deal that's going to happen here soon that we worked on last year. Acquired 4 locations successfully, and there's a lot of things you could say, well, what does successful look like? We could probably identify a bunch, but to me, what it looks like is very low employee turnover. We teach the employees our culture, why we're different, why we're a place that they want to spend their careers at, and then also kind of go after it in the marketplace and set up those dealerships for success going forward. So we had 4 successful acquisitions this year. Our Care Camps initiative was launched, and really cool. It ended up being over 400 of our employees ended up participating in the Care Camps initiative, raising funds for Care Camps through direct deposit. So really, really cool. And one of the things that's we should all be really proud of on the Care Camp side, but on the giving back side in general. So when we were launching the Care Camps initiative, I said on this message back then, let me know if there's other things you do. And I was actually surprised the number of responses that I got from all the stores, because there's a lot of initiatives that the store's doing, store level initiatives, like Toys for Tots in Byron, and getting toys for them, like the bike drive they do in Kings Mountain, or the hip hop for homeless in Union. We do a lot of different activities to give back to our communities, and it's awesome to see all the local activities at the store level, and then we have Care Camps as a initiative that we have as a company. So we really kind of looked at our giving campaigns, and there's lots of other items that I could mention, but 2021 was a good year, and the Campers Inn team you all deserve a pat on the back for really a remarkable year in a lot of different ways, whether you look at all of our different stakeholders, how we took care of our partners on the manufacturing side, how we take care of our communities and how we gave back there, how we're looking at our employees with training and trying to give you the best resources there, or our customers. Like I said, there was good and bad there, but we made some progress in some areas. There's some other areas that we'll have to make some more progress on now, but overall, we took care of our stakeholders, which is what our values are all about. So where are we right now? Where's the market? So the demand is still strong. We've had some early shows. We're going to have some more shows, so it's too early to really tell, but so far it looks like demand is still strong with the early show results. But one of the things that's changed is the manufacturers are starting to meet demand with the supply. So they're starting to build enough RVs in certain segments to actually meet the demand. So one of the examples there is stick and tin travel trailers. It seems like we're actually meeting the demand. So that's different. That wasn't that way for the last 18, 20 months or so. And now it seems like we're starting to see some of that demand met only in certain segments. We're still seeing a very high pressure in service. Any of you that have traveled to multiple stores, just the lots are full with service vehicles, and a lot of our stores have had a hard time pre-prepping the inventory, getting ready for season because of the amount of retail demand. So there's good and bad about that. The good side is that means customers are using their RVs, getting them ready. The bad side, obviously, is that we're a little bit behind in some of our ability to pre-prep the inventory, get it ready for sale, get it ready for season. But we are seeing really records on the service demand side. Where are we on the service side to grow it? We're still looking to grow our service operations. So a lot of you have participated in the technician training programs, which are awesome. Keith's doing a great job leading that with our VTI partnership. We're looking at hiring more techs where we have bay space available, making sure that we're trying to expand our prep center capacity. So we have a few more bays with the prep center, so we can expand that capacity, allows the stores to be able to do more local work, whether it's pre-preps that didn't go through the prep center or more retail work, that sort of thing. So we're still looking to relieve some of that pressure. And then as we look forward to 2022, it does look like the market's going to be a bit more competitive, largely because of what I mentioned earlier. So manufacturers are able to keep up with demand in certain segments, not everything, and that'll create more pressure on the retail side. So it's going to be a more competitive environment in 2022 than it was in 2021. But that's why we do all the training we do. That's why we focus on Prodaptive. That's why we focus on our technologies and everything else, because we get ready for when things get a little bit tougher. And so we think that in 2022, it will be more competitive. So there's a few areas, a few efforts that we need to focus on as we look at this coming year. And these aren't the only ones, but these are some areas that we're working on right now in order to get ready for 2022. So one of them I mentioned, I briefly touched on, I'm going to expound on a little bit, is the idea of service as support versus service as retail. And I'm thinking, the service team, the fixed operations team. And service as support generally is we're going to support the sales department, get new units out, and be a great prep center, take care of the customers as they're taking new units, handle warranty for customers that we sold, but minimal else retail outside of that, minimal beyond really taking care of the sales department. And what we're trying to do is focus on increasing our capacity at our stores, like I said, at the prep center as well. And the goal is that we're not just support on the fixed operations side, but we truly are focused on the customer's needs. And what that's called is services retail. It's something that John Spader taught to me, but it's the difference of services support versus services retail, and making sure that we're focused on that retail segment so that we can earn those customers for life. Maybe they haven't chosen to do business with us on the sales side yet, but we're going to earn that right through service. So taking care of those customers throughout their entire life cycle, not just sales. So training is really important to this as well. One of the reasons why we have a huge focus on tech training is that we need to make sure that our technicians are ready to take care of the customers that are coming in, and we have to train them to do that. We're not looking, I can't say we're not looking, but the emphasis isn't on hiring fully qualified techs from other dealerships and bringing them in. The emphasis right now is hiring people who want the training, want this educational environment where we can help them become better and better technicians throughout their careers and help them on their career path. So that's why the training is really, really important. And how we're going to do that with our technicians is, like we've said, the training's really important, but culture is super important. We want them to come to an environment where their career is important to not just them, but to their employer, us, and that we want to provide that great working environment where they choose to spend the rest of their career, wherever their career takes them. So that's on the fixed operations side. On the front end side, sales, inventory, we have to understand that we're in a changing market. So what that means is we have to watch some different metrics. We have to watch our inventory on how many days it's taking to sell, the number of days supply that's out there, watching the used market, making sure that our ACVs are right, actual cash value for those of you that aren't on the sales side, and not panic, right? So one of the things, it's been on the inventory side, we've had much less inventory than what we've needed to meet demand. That's going to start changing, but we don't need to panic. We don't need to immediately say, okay, we're going to go, and slash all the prices to nothing. No, what we need to do is we need to use the data and help our teams understand what's going on by looking, making incremental adjustments, and making sure that we're adjusting to the ongoing market conditions. So what that could mean is as the corporate team, specifically the ISD, Ricky and Destiny and other corporate team members see some of the data, helping out the GM, sales managers see what we're seeing so that they know, hey, this is an area that's changing a little bit in your market. Here are some of the things that are going on. Maybe it's turns on inventory. Maybe it's margins. Maybe it's e-lead closing rates. And we can point out some of these things that we're seeing so that the managers at the stores can make favorable decisions based on the data that we're seeing. And one of the cool things that's happened is we've invested so much time, energy, money, resources into our technology side, we can get a little bit ahead of what we're seeing in the market, which is really cool. So I'm really excited to be able to bring some of those tools that we have to bear this coming year. So what does that mean? We've got to watch our markets, watch our inventory, make sure we're watching our market share so that we're not losing it. And how we do it is just by focusing on the basics. So all this data that we have, all the things that we've created helps us focus on the basics, helps us train better, understand which areas we need to focus on. We need to make sure we're focusing on the basics in the sales and inventory side, such as website maintenance, making sure that we have units with pictures on them. Those aging inventory has pricing. Make sure we're focusing on our e-leads. So all these basics are really important on the sales side, so we don't get caught behind the times, that we stay in front of it, and we use the data to see where the market's going. We use some of the anecdotal information that we're getting to see where the market's going, and we adjust. So it is going to change this year. So the sales side, we have to be ready to adapt to that change and make sure that we're being collaborative about it. And don't panic. It's not worth panicking. We just need to make changes over time. And then another focus effort that we're going through right now is building our team. So I've kind of already woven this into a couple of the other areas, but we want to make sure that we have best-in-class training for our teammates. So we had some awesome training at the end of the year for some of our managers down here in Jacksonville. It was great seeing a lot of our teammates here, and we're going to continue to provide best-in-class training. We're going to do that through Campers in You. So we have some really cool initiatives going on in some different areas for Campers in You for helping to train our team. And we're also making sure that we have better training resources for you on the support side. So one of the examples there is Randy Goodwin. He's been a GM for us for, he helped us open the Byron store. And he now is a GM trainer for the company. So Randy is going to help the new store GMs and other GMs that just need some assistance on that side, as an example. I already mentioned, tech training, and we're working on a lot of different areas of the company where we can provide you best-in-class training and support to help build our team. So we want to make sure that we're focusing on both sides of the coin, which is success and satisfaction. So on the success side, those are the job-specific things that we want to help build the team on. But the satisfaction side is how we teach our situational management model, which is Prodaptive. Those have been through that class. I mentioned hiring winners, and there's other classes to make sure that we are meeting the satisfaction side. Another area that some of you may be noticing is job tracks, right? We're trying to give more transparent and frequent evaluations for our teammates, and we're rolling that out in some areas. Some areas have been using them a little bit more in order to make sure that we're achieving both the success and satisfaction metrics. So the request there on the building the team side is, if you're interested in various training, please speak up to your managers. If you see some of your regionals traveling around, please speak up to them. Sometimes we just don't know who is looking for some additional training in some area, whether it's on that, people situational management side for managers, or people wanting to train as managers, or whether it's technical training in your specific area. So please let your managers know that you want to be part of this training. Because ultimately, we're looking to grow as many people from within as possible. Yes, we're training on hiring winners and better selection processes, but the goal is as many people as we can to bring up from within is a good thing. So one of the examples there is, we have new stores coming up, and we're going to need, for example, a GM or two in some of these new markets where we're starting up a new store. We're not acquiring a store, we're starting a new one. And we want you to raise your hand and say, hey, I'm interested in being a GM. I don't care if you email me and let me know, but you can let your GM know, or your regional, just let it be known that you're interested in growing with the company and being part of some of this education. And that's a huge first step, because otherwise sometimes we're guessing as a management team on who wants to move, like physically move, right, to get an opportunity, or who wants to move maybe positions. So those are some of the focus areas, kind of a recap on what's going on. So those of you that have stuck with me to the end, I know this is a long message. I get it. So here's the exciting news I said that we would cover at the very, very end. This is just a preliminary announcement, but we're going to let you know one of the things that's going on. So if you remember several months ago, not the culture survey that went out, but the survey before that talked about employee benefits, we sent out a survey. The number one response by far we got was we would like a 401k match, some sort of 401k match. And there was lots of comments around it. So we're really excited that we're going to have a 401k match in 2022. So really excited to announce that we're gonna have that. And in fact, we're actually going to look back at 2021 and we're going to do a 401k match for employees that I believe it's like a 500-hour rule, at least with us 500 hours last year, which is basically 90 days. But we're going to do a look back period for 2021 as well. We're going to have more details to come. So this is just a preliminary announcement. We're going to have like the specifics on what exactly is the percentage and up to what level, all these sorts of things that any of you that have been with a company with a 401k match knows that there's specifics on it. And that's going to come from the human resources team and marketing team. We're going to make sure we get this message out to everybody. But I at least wanted to let you know that we heard you. Jeff and I talked about this and we're like, you know what? This is easily the number one thing that our team's asking us for. So in 2022, we're going to start this 401k match. We're excited to announce it. We're excited to give you more details. Probably in February is when we're going to be able to give more details on it. We're working with our advisors, our 401k advisor, ADP, to kind of knock out some of the details on this. But we're going to continue to grow Campers Inn to be the preferred place to work in the industry for all of our teammates. That's really the goal, is we want to make sure that the benefits package is favorable to you, that the work environment, the culture is a great one. It's a place that you want to have your whole career here, where you feel like you can get developed in whatever path you want to be. You want to be the best, whatever you want to be, or you want to potentially move to a different area of the country in a totally different role. We want to be able to help you out with those different goals. So excited about our 401k match because it's a piece that helps us get there. So that's it for the January 2022 update. Tons I covered. I know this is 22 minutes, way too long. I apologize for it taking so long, but thanks for sticking with me. And I'm very excited about the year that we're going to have here in 2022. Thanks, team.